Please put your hands together and welcome Mark Lundholm.
I'm going to compliment you tonight on your choice for entertainment. You couldn't have picked a better night to be here. I've seen this show before. It's funny. So I get a kick out of the fact that people pay money to hear people talk, respond. You guys just be yourself. You guys do your best. I'll do the rest. I started doing comedy in jails and rehabs and shelters and halfway houses and places I've lived a lot since I was a little kid. Dysfunctional? Yeah. It's nice to work for people who chose to be the audience this evening. But I grew up in a house I wouldn't wish on a cellmate I hated. I had a few of those. Dysfunctional was mildly, that's a vanilla Disney PG way to say it. I was the oldest of 5 kids. In our house, ADD stood for all different dads. Now, normal people don't laugh right there. Normal people go, that's very sad. There's people in here going, I'm going to take that to my meetings, man. I believe with all my heart that there are 2 groups of people on the planet. It's not gay, straight, black, white, he, she, tall, short, smart, not. There are levels of all of those things, right? There's outlaws and in-laws. That's all there is. The outlaws know who they are. The in-laws have been paying for us for a long time. Outlaws are the kind of people that are selective about their celestial gifts. You know, the universe provided certain tools for us. Outlaws are selective. We're creative when it comes to criminal, second story B&E, things like that. Normal people didn't understand what I just said. Normal people have one pharmacist. Normal people take as prescribed. Normal people buy a 12-pack and share it with someone else. The rest of us, we know who we are. We got selective focus. We'll flunk out of math class in 5th grade, but we can make a pot pipe out of a fish. Dude, last night we smoked salmon. The gills are a good carburetor. Normal people, there's a carburetor or a pot pipe, there's a motor, some brother in here went, which end of the fish you put in your... The rest of us, not normal, not most. Normal's like the moon. I've seen it my whole life. Pretty far away from it, probably never go. But the rest of us have skills too, selectively, you know. We'll get a bunch of tattoos and then tell someone we're afraid of commitment. We'll masturbate for an hour, but we never have time to floss. Normal people hear the word blackout and think, no electricity. I hear the word blackout. I remember the time I woke up naked in front of the massage parlor with a candy cane in my... Ask me later how that joke ends. I'll tell you. It wasn't one of those little skinny candy canes either. No, you know those Christmas chubbies? I hate the holidays, man. It wasn't so much the candy cane when it came to naked in the juniper bush there in front of the massage parlor. It wasn't so much the pain of that. It was, I didn't know who did it. If it was somebody from the massage parlor, I could understand. But I hated to think that someone was just walking by and thought, Happy New Year to you. Spread a little Yuletide cheer on you. I used to drink. I'm a sober alcoholic guy, long time now. And the irony here is not lost on me that a sober alcoholic is doing open bar. I quit drinking because I was drinking yours too. Just the way it goes. But I'll tell you what, it wasn't the alcohol so much as the behavior, the consequences. Ended up with a lot of consequences, you know. Most people, they know what they're doing. The rest of us, we guess. We guess consistently. I'll tell you what, I like my bourbon neat. I like my scotch neat. I like my Irish whiskey neat. So when it comes to liquor, I guess I'm anti-ice. But here's the thing. I knew that was wasted on you people. I knew it. I'm not running for anything. 2 reasons. Background, check. Although some people slid by, I got to tell you that right there. But I could fix this country with 3 words. Bring back dodgeball. Nothing balances ability, humility, or agility like a red rubber ball bounced off your snot box, Botox, or dreadlocks. Boom! Ow, God, dude, thank you. Humbled. I pray for humility every morning. If I don't get it soon enough during the day, I call my ex-wife, the plaintiff. Most expensive joke of the night right there. That one cost me $7,000 a month. I know. She's looking at me like, I got the wrong baby daddy. That was just for the Real Housewives of Pueblo sitting there. And the Cialis tables over here. God bless them. So that's the only crowd work I'm going to do. Go ahead. It's funny when it's their turn, isn't it, right? My brothers. Cialis, the most expensive, exquisite headache you'll ever have. So as an older person, you ever know you're getting old? You ever run out of breath and you're eating? Oh, that's good cornbread, man. You ever pee 3 times a night now and you only got out of bed twice? You young kids, you know you got to, you're clapping for that, right? Because you're sitting next to your dad. Here we go. I knew I was getting older when I confused serenity with fatigue. You ever just been too worn out to argue? Somebody take a shot at you verbally, whatever. I know this as a 67-year-old man. I know that what you give energy to will continue. What you put your toes on goes on, young blood. But I'll tell you what, there's times where I grew up in East Oakland, and I would rather throw a fist than a party. The house I grew up in, you were either the bullet or the bullseye. One of them felt better for a second or two. Right? But when I'm challenged, you go out in public, you're challenged. You ever get tired of people? There's a lot of them. You ever hold the door open for someone else and they walk through without saying anything to you? What's your first thought? Wow. You kind of feel bipolar right there. That's as close as normal people ever get to bipolar. Like, here, let me help you. Go screw yourself. Grandma. I knew I was bipolar when I found myself one day watching CNN and Fox News at the same time. If I was borderline personality disorder, I'd watch The View. Nobody needs to see that at all. Thanks for clapping for my mental illness there. I do have some OCD. It's selective, though. OCD, I won't touch an elevator button. I can't remember the last time I put my hands on those railings that go up the escalator. But I'll shoot heroin with toilet water. And I don't smoke cigarettes. They're filthy, nasty people smoke cigarettes. There's a warning right on the label. There's no warning on a bag of Skag. But I'm selective about smokers. God bless you. You're going to run out tonight and get fresh air through a filter because you're weak people. I'll smoke a cigar. That's long and thick and firm, and who says no to that? But I'm selective with my germophobia. COVID was a blessing. 6 feet apart. How about 60? I won't shake a hand, but I'll go down on a hooker. I don't care. Who's clapping for that? And what are you doing later? Here's the thing. I'm into cougars, which now means she has to be 109. Let's go, girl. But I'll go down on Granny Gray Beard, trust me. I'm moving fast, so the pot smokers try to keep up. Weed people get the joke tomorrow. Everybody who smokes pot should wear a t-shirt that says, wait, what? Selectively OCD, I'm afraid to shake hands. That's stuff from trauma as a kid. But if I drop a slice of pizza on the hotel carpet tonight, I'm eating that bitch now. That's double cheese, mama. I don't care what naked businessman crawled his balls across there the night before. It's double cheese! Anybody else OCD? Anybody else selectively so, right? We pick our battles, don't we? Anybody here PTSD for noise? For noise? My son, he's PTSD for noise. You'd think it was conception. My ex-wife, who's a friend of mine, Julie. All of a sudden, everybody smoked weed. My ex-wife, Julie, she's been sober 30 years. I've been sober 37. We get along good. We've been divorced for 15 years. Our son is now 19. He's a baller, 6'5", 240. He's a stud. He got the best of us, but he got the rest of us, too. And we learned early on there's no ex-kids in a divorce. There's no step-kids when you hook up. There's no ex-kids when you split up. She's one of my best friends. We just don't live together anymore, and we're not a good couple. We're a good team. But there's humility attached there, too. I've learned more from a kid than I've ever taught one. I've had 4 kids from 4 different women. I used to do a lot of poking locals when I was touring. I have a favorite kid. It's my granddaughter. So my daughter, Courtney, when she was very little, I had her for the first time. I just got out, again. It's like normal people didn't get that reference. I love you guys right now. And I wasn't going to do this joke, but I am now because I don't care about what happens with open bar. You guys deserve this. Normal people, they watch shows like Life, PD, and Cops and go, what? Wait, where's his pants? The rest of us are rooting for the naked guy. Run, my brother! Get over the fence. Watch out for the dog. Bet you wish you had pants now, yeah. Holy cow. We don't watch shows the same. We don't eat the same. I grew up in a house where slow feed don't eat. You rush and you stuffed. I'm not that kind of dad. I'm not the dad I had, so my boy's not the son I was. My daughter, Courtney, when she was little, I had her for Easter weekend. And we were severely Catholic growing up. My ex-wife is Episcopalian, which is like Catholic light, right? We didn't get a divorce. We had an annulment. That's a Catholic version of the lemon law. You just turn it in. Go to the lot, pick up another one on Sunday. That's really a tough joke to do in some cities. If there's Christians here, I read the Bible. I was an altar boy. That had its challenges in the 60s. This is a good crowd. I've seen me before. You guys are kicking ass. But I read the Bible. It's about 1,400 pages, give or take the version. But it bothered me even as a kid. I remember thinking, there's not one goddamn joke in that book. That irritates. It talks about laughter. It talks about song. It talks about celebrate. It talks about joy. Not one joke. So I wrote one. Favorite phrase in the Bible? You got a favorite allegory or psalm? My favorite phrase in the Bible is be fruitful and multiply. You can find that in Philippians chapter 2. I think it's verse 68. So my daughter is with me for Easter, and I couldn't be more swelled up with pride. I did a lot of time, Juvie County Prison. Well, codependents always fill in the gaps. Codependent, where you're giving up your time and tools and trade and for other people, and neither one of you are benefiting. Codependents are easy to spot in public. They have a mating call. Aww. That's an Al-Anon in heat right there. Courtney is my daughter's name. And she was born in the year I got sober, 1988. And she's 38 now, and she's got a 5-year-old daughter. So I'm a gilf, right? So I have her for Easter. That hurts my feelings that you laughed at that a little bit, yeah. So I cannot tell you how nervous I was, though, because the kid is there. When a woman has a baby, it's almost an amputation. It's a part of her body. They amputate that person from that person. I mean, my investment in her birth or conception, maybe a minute and a half, you know what I mean? I exaggerated that too. So it's Easter, we go to the candy store, and I said to her, trying to be funny, because I've been a comedian a long time, right? more than half my life. And I love this art, this craft. I love doing what I do. And I said to her, hey, baby, you want a girl bunny or a boy bunny? Girl or boy? Because they got blue foil and pink foil. She goes, boy bunny, Daddy. I said, why boy bunny? She goes, more chocolate. What do you mean more? Mommy said that boys have an extra part. Extra part, more chocolate. I bought her the girl bunny. She ain't getting an extra part for a long time, and I ain't paid for it. I got a son named Grayson, and he's quick as a whip, a little too smart. You ever realize that maybe we are ill-equipped to have the next generation smarter, faster? You know, the kids, the young people, the vapes. The kids who are too young to remember Quaaludes or Boone's Farm or Black Michael Jackson. They have no idea. You know, they were real things, but they never saw them. K2 Molly, bath salts, bars, dabs, Flocka, Trank, White Claw. So I have Grayson one Easter, and he's about 5, and we're driving up to a celebration, family celebration. He's in the back seat, and he's a Christian kid, went to San Jose Christian School, Valley Christian High School. He says to me, Dad, can I ask you a question? Sure, Chowder. He's got a lot of nicknames. Chowder, Slingin' Sammy Baugh, let's see, Jackson Brown, Money, short for G Money. If he's borderline personality disorder, it's my fault. Tons of labels, right? I said, what's up, Chowder? He goes, Dad, Easter on Sunday, was it true that the Easter bunny rolled away the stone for Jesus? What? Yeah, because Jesus was hidden like an egg. My first thought was, why did I ever have sex with your mother? Why are you here? Why couldn't she have said no that month? Why couldn't I have slept with her sister? Her sister can't have kids. I suffer from a disease called first thought wrong. First thought wrong, inaccurate, cruel, self-centered, whiny, abusive, criminal, judgmental, ungrateful. First thought wrong direction. I'll give you an example. First thought wrong. 1 is okay. For me, it ain't. If she don't find out, it wasn't really cheating. It is. First thought wrong for the normal people. You ever run a yellow light and the guy in front of you does not? First thought, go. We run yellows in my car and we get a little bit of the red too. First thought wrong. If I work hard enough, I'll feel better. If I take more painkillers, the pain will go away. For me, painkillers are just killers. I wasn't a pill guy. But I'll tell you what, if you're normal, you know, you do the right thing, you feel the right way. The rest of us, the criminal intent, the element of, let's see, I'm gonna bend the rules and break them all together. Okay, maybe you're not like me, but there's plenty of people who are. Be careful out there this week. So first thought wrong says, well, I'm funny all the time. Not so much. On the flight here from San Francisco, it was a tough day for me. I'm not whining. I got platinum problems, trust me. 2 hours sleep. I got up, took the little hopper out of SFO here. I was in New York the day before. It's a lot of airtime, right? So I'm on the plane this morning, and the flight attendant gets on, and she's a little crispy. You ever have somebody come into the room and you can read them like a book? Can anybody else got a long antenna for trust, lust, predatory sanctuary? You can smell false. You can smell fear. You can smell rage. You know, for some of us, rage is shame aimed at you. That's just the way it works in my world, right? But I don't tell people what to do, but I got an antenna. I could spot it. Bitch, snitch, punk, drunk, bore, whore, wimp, pimp, liar, lawyer, winner, whiner. I know where they're all at. I could say that again just like that. But I'm on the plane, and the flight attendant, she barks at seat 1A. She barks. This was an older woman who had never flown before. Flight attendant says, this is real early. Flight attendant says, would you like a pre-flight beverage? And the lady says, "Oh, it's first time flying. What do you have?" She goes, "In the seat pocket on the side of you right there, there's a list. I'll be back to you." She goes, "Do you have tea?" She goes, "I'll get back to you." I'm out of my seat, man. I'm a hover and cover helicopter dad. I'm a rescue guy. I grew up in a house protecting 4 kids from the guy who made them. As a 5-year-old, we already had 5 kids, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we lived in East Oakland, and the dad we wish we had lived next door, Mr. Earl. Ebony, Marine, Mr. Earl. Man, he was a man. He had nicknames for the 5 little white kids that lived next door. I was Popcorn because I was a little yellow. My sister was Paper, my brother was Albino, the 2 youngest boys were Casper and Snowball. Now for the young people, Casper was this cartoon we used to watch. So I'm ready to take this lady's face off verbally and just paint her a different color because I don't like the way she's talking to someone else. Now, shortcut for me, the argument I win is the one I don't enter. Okay, I get it. I wait my turn. Flight attendant doesn't become less crispy. She's kind of incinerating. I said, she's barking at people. Then the whole cabin knows. She comes to me, she goes, "Drink?" I said, "No, not for a long time now, no." She goes, "Wait, what? Would you care for a beverage before we take off?" I said, "Yeah, black coffee, please." She goes, "Anything in that?" "Yeah, fentanyl. Get a little speedball going, a little giddy up, a little comeback." She goes, "Did you say fentanyl?" Now the whole plane is listening. A guy across the aisle goes, "Hi." He's one of us, but he wants to pretend he's not. You ever get the joke at the wrong time? Late, it shows up, you were the only one at the joke, now no one's at the joke but you, and you go, "Hi." "Sorry, Your Honor." What were you saying? You ever laugh so hard during sex you can't finish? I mean, with another person. If you have first thought wrong, we can have a filter between. Go ahead, I should have given you time to laugh. If you have first thought wrong, you gotta have a filter between brain and face because it's about a 4.5-inch, 5-inch trip from brain to lip, right? And stuff can leak. You ever send an email, go, "Whoa, wish I hadn't." Restraint of pen and tongue. Gotta slow down to grow up. I'm immature. Mostly, I'm not my age chronologically, So I try to slow down. Airbags. I got airbags on my chest that do the same job as a car. They inflate to protect before I hit it. We grew up with holes in the drywall, man. All the time. Mr. Earl would say, "How you doing, Popcorn?" "I'm good, Mr. Earl." "I know you ain't good. When you come and talk to me, you'll feel better." Always like that. He had a dog, a Rottweiler, Rufus. And he would say to me at some point, "Now, get to stepping now. My dog don't like white folk. Now run!" Rufus hated white people, hated. And I remember it was my first introduction to, what am I supposed to do about that? What am I, aw. But I've learned more from other people than I have from myself. I listen to myself. I'm listening to the last guy who got me locked up, loaded to jail. That's not the conversation I want to have with that guy, but that's the guy I spend the most time with. I think I hurt my neck doing that reference right there. But I watch, and I digest, and I slow down. It's fruitful. I have first thought wrong. That's my problem. It wasn't opiates. It wasn't heroin. It wasn't. I'm so old now, I've gone from methamphetamine to Metamucil. Cocaine to Rogaine, man. Acid to antacid. From Vicodin to Viagra. Let me get back to what I was saying. And the cliches don't mean what they used to. And the history is not a mystery anymore. You look at the rearview mirror of your existence. If you're a pot person, there's not really a mirror here. But it's experience, not shame anymore. I got stuff I can't tell you about ever. If they locked you up, some of you, for everything you really did do and weren't caught at, when did you get out? That's a never ever. That's a 25 plus. We can't talk about you, Mr. OnlyFans. I have no idea who I just pointed at right there. I don't. If you're watching this on Open Bar, the crowd here was spectacular. Yeah. Yeah, all 6 of those people who wooed.
Wait, what?
Oh. You ever wish you'd have sold one less ticket? So first out wrong is a gift. It's a curse. But some of the cliches that are just standard operating verbal fare for the society, they don't sound the same for some of the rest of us, the outlaws. You know, if it ain't broke, no, we haven't touched it yet. Shortest distance between 2 points is a lot of speed. Third, if at first you don't succeed, smoke crack and blame other people. Sometimes I get questioned pre-show. I do a lot of keynote stuff, corporate work. I got a very narrow, really appreciated lane to work, right? I haven't been in clubs in a long time. But I know how to talk. I could sell guns to nuns. I'm that slick. It got me in more trouble than comedy until I started doing comedy. It was less trouble, right? Teeter-totter. Now, if you're a young person, we used to have these things called teeter-totters. You ever been on one by yourself? How'd it work? Life is a teeter-totter. It ain't built for one person. The higher up you go, the harder you land all by yourself, right? So, but I know that adult language, they'll use that term in the contract. No adult language here at Tesla. The corporate board doesn't like adult language. So there's an HR person. Now, HR means human resources, which is redundant. The resource is humanity. If you don't have a profoundly dark, twisted, horrible sense of humor, fire yourself tomorrow. That's like the second sentence of a workshop I do for corporate called Humor Begins and Ends with HR. Some of them don't get it. You ever work with that person that takes themselves so seriously you don't have to? How you doing, John? Good, you? Tell your face, John, because it didn't have good on it at all. So adult language. I use a lot of adult languages and all this osteoporosis, 401k, mortgage refi, Medicare copay, CPAP. Not an attractive contraption, CPAP. Blows air up your nose all night. First thought wrong when I got it from the doc. Where was this when I was snorting coke in the 80s, man? That's a good delivery system, right? How you sleeping, Mark? No sleep. Let's work. Let's do construction. Let's do a demo. Come on, boys! Ha! Daddy likey! The problem is it's an ugly device. My ex-wife used to call it a birth control device. Nobody wanted to hop on pop when I'm wearing that thing. I'm still addicted to work. I'm still addicted to attention. I quit the bright, shiny object problem items, the class 3 felony stuff a long time ago, but I'm still addicted to work, bounce dryer sheets, binge watching TV. Can you use one of those fuckers? I can't. Gotta be 3. Sugar, coffee, vagina. Still addicted to vagina. If Starbucks ever comes out with a pussy mocha, I'm gonna be in that long line behind all the lesbians, just waiting my turn. Come on, girls. Pussy mocha for Mark, what size? Small, duh. Nobody needs a large pussy mocha. And then I gotta walk through all the Subarus in the parking lot to get to my Jeep. I'm banned from 3 Starbucks in the Bay Area, California. True, real life. And real life is a lot like this show, a lot. It's funny, then it's not, and then it's over. It's over. It's over.
One more time, Mark Lundholm.